it's still a $10 ticket, and I'm not going to pay more than that to go there when it's empty half the time.
Yep.
So if they can build this, you know what I always thought it needed? Just paint the building. If they just painted the Tropicana Field on the outside with some beautiful murals, that could have helped tremendously and been a lot cheaper.
I wonder if was it, I don't know, was it ever discussed, like, just get rid of the roof and, like, add some sort of, like...
I think the roof was discussed, but it was, like, so much money and that sort of stuff. And it's probably easier to get the money from the city and the state
to build
something brand new when they're including the development of the whole area.
Yeah, and I don't think they have to leave for a season. I think they can continue to play at Tropicana while the development's happening, and then just literally from one season to the next transfer over.
Yeah.
Which all that has to happen by 2027, 2028, 2027.
Expected to be ready before the end of the lease of the Tropicana Field in 2027.
Okay, so because the lease ends, they need to move over, so that way they're not renewing, spending more money on a 1-year renewal. And then my guess is Tropicana Field, the current Tropicana Field, is going to get demoed. I mean, like, let's kind of call it what it is.
I was wondering that.
Like, I don't...
What's going to go in there?
There's no...
You know what could go in there? Basketball.
That'd be cool. Mm-hmm. Do a retrofit conversion to become
an NBA team, because they're all covered anyway. The Orlando Stadium's covered.
100%.
Yeah. NBA team.
That'd be kind of cool. So I'd be down for that. I'd be down to go see a basketball game, like local. So I'm more of a baseball person, just in general, like watching day to day and like paying attention. But a basketball game is pretty cool to see. So, but I'm partial to that because I grew up in Indiana with the Indiana Pacers, so saw a few games there. Went to Florida State. Florida State had actually had a really good team my 4 years that were there, so saw a lot of basketball games for that. So basketball environments are pretty cool. But, we also have the Lightning, so a little bit of a great trade-off.
Trifecta.
Yeah, that's true. Tampa, I don't even know, because the Lightning are taken. So what do you call the Tampa team?
I have no idea. So let's just cap this subject off on what is your just general opinion? Are you pro or con?
If I can only give you one, I am pro. I have a few minor issues, but overall, yes, pro deal, pro them staying, pro all of it, yes.
Yeah, me too. I think that I've got no problem with people coming to Florida, that our city gets built up. Like, there's obviously the issues of affordability, and you don't want to get kicked out of your area.
Correct.
Because everything's getting more expensive and people are flying in who make more money. But I love that this place is getting more and more beautified, really.
Yep.
Clearwater just got redone. Dunedin's been working over the years of getting redone.
Correct.
It'll be good for St. Pete, I think, overall. Tampa just had the Water Street basically in the past 5 to 8 years, all that done. So then coming over to the population growth, and we were talking a little bit before, my wonder is Florida's population growth, is it better for us? Does it hinder us? And specifically, how does it, from your opinion, impact the film community and video photo production?
It's in my opinion, it's very negative for the video production.
Go there.
Yep. Yeah, I didn't think you. I knew you were not expecting that as my answer.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow.
So yeah, it is a negative in my opinion, having so many people coming here for the video production industry. There are a lot of people coming to Florida just as a whole. I think if filmmakers, production companies come to this region, I sincerely believe they're going to be suffering. We have a significant amount of talent here as it is, and we just hit one of the worst summers for video professionals in recent memory. And there was not nearly enough work for the people that were here, and it was eye-opening how many people I was hearing say, slowest month I've ever had, slowest month I've ever had, slowest summer I've ever had, second slowest month I've ever had, like crazy. And it's always known that June, July, August is pretty slow.
Yeah.
But to hear slowest month I've ever had, second slowest month I've ever had, slowest summer I've ever had, I mean, and this isn't just by like two people. I'm talking, I heard this from a dozen, 15 people. I mean, it's crazy. Even us as a company, it was crazy how few productions we had in July. And I've been here long enough, been here since 2012, and yeah, I would say that it probably was our slowest July since 2020.
Wow.
And obviously 2020 has its own little caveat, so you kind of remove that from the equation and you still go, wow, that's our slowest month that we've had in recent memory. Like, that's crazy. And it's very common to hear less and less work, but it's crazy because from my vantage point, the productions are still here.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of productions are still here. Some of those budgets have been cut, so less crew are being hired. And if there are more pros fighting for the same amount of jobs, if not less, which is probably less, quite frankly, that's not good. So if you're having multiple professionals moving to our region saying, oh, I want to get out of New York, I want to get out of Georgia, I want to get out of Michigan, and just whatever they're coming from, right? Like, if they're trying to move from 49 other states and they're trying to move here and they're trying to move to our region, that's not good for our industry, because you're having more people fight for the same amount of jobs. And once you latch on to your crew, you don't really let go of them. I mean, they're tried and true, they're trusted. We get inquiries every week. There's at least, at minimum, one person every single week that reaches out to us. Hey, is there any work? I'm new to the area. I just graduated, whatever the case may be, right? Every week, I see at least one of those, minimum. So if you're talking in a year, that's 52 people. I would honestly say it's probably closer to 75 or 80 of these inquiries throughout the year. So this is a high volume issue, in my opinion, because the work needs to grow for these 500 extra professionals that are in the area to be able to survive. Otherwise, they're going to have to find another career, or they're going to have to move again. And it sucks because a lot of those individuals, guys and girls, are talented, insanely talented, but there's just not enough work to feed them and their families while also catering to the locals that have been here. Yeah. I mean, I see there's a key grip in the area, and she's good. She's real good. And we've been bringing her on a few jobs here and there when we can. And she's slow, constantly slow. And I'm just like, that sucks because she's good. Yeah. But she's trying to break through all the additional locals that have been here for, just as long, if not longer. And more people are coming in, fighting for that, maybe taking lower wages, which are helping production companies stay under budget or at budget or under budget. And that's a problem too, right? Like, if a certain rate is supposed to be 700 for whatever position, let's just say, it's supposed to be 700 and people are coming in and taking 500, well, that's saving production money. And a lot of line producers are going to take that as a win, rightfully so. I get it. But that is a problem, because are they supposed to be going back to that 700 rate more often, or are they going to now say, well, I've gotten people who have taken this rate at 500, so I'm just going to look for someone who's at 500?
I mean, if I'm a business owner, I'm keeping it at 500. Like, because if I'm getting people who are just as hungry for the work, who are doing just as good of a job and possibly better, and they're charging less for their contract work, then I'm gonna keep it at 500 and go for that.
And I have a problem with that, because I mean, like, I sincerely do everything in our power to keep rate.
Well, that's why I was thinking that as far as what you're talking about, it seems to me that it's the production company's fault, that they're at fault, because it's such a hard industry for filmmakers to exist in, to make money and thrive. Now, a lot of them do it, from what I could tell, just because they really love it. It's their passion. The money is second. But there are people who we could talk about all day long that are struggling and trying to keep it afloat, and they'll have sidebars with us where they're like, oh, it's been super slow, I've got to dip into my savings, and savings is running out during different periods of the year. That's a hard lifestyle to manage, having to save up all your money and then go through these big dips and not really know what the next few months are going to look like. Every quarter is going to be different. Versus there's production companies that I see that aren't, let's go big established production companies, that I don't see hiring the grips, hiring the gaffers, like having them on full time as your staff, versus you'll get like a bay of 9 editors, like,
Yeah.
but you'll just contract and freelance these guys out to do. I mean, the grips, the G&E, they're the ones who are making the production. If you're not, obviously the camera guy needs to be there, but they're making everything happen.
Yeah.
And the fact that I don't see these well-established production companies hiring them on full time, I think they're the problem, because then these guys got to go, and then the rates go down. They got to fight for what they can get. These well-established locals, now they have to drop their 700 to 5 because these new guys are hungry and willing to do it. I would love to see these people. I mean, they're friends of ours, like peers. Why are you not on staff somewhere making $90,000 a year? Like, you're the one who's making everything look so pretty. I wish I saw that. And if you're a smaller production company, I tear it off of, like, how many editors do you have? Do you need 10 editors? Probably not, Does every intern you have to be an editor as well? Like, no. Get these guys. I've always said, I hate when people tell me they want to be a DP, because everybody wants to be a DP. I love the people who say they want to be a grip, they want to be a gaffer, and that sort of stuff. But I feel bad for them internally, because I know you're kind of getting into the struggle lifestyle. Yep. Fisher, come here.
He's joining the party today.
Yeah. So what, I mean, you're a production company owner. We're established, but we're not that big. We don't have a bay of editors. There's 5 of us here. It's not 30. Do you have opinions on that?
Well, 5 total people, not just editors.
Yeah.
So,
5 total people. Good point.
Yeah, 5 total people. We have 1 full-time editor.
Right. Fisher.